Good morning. Welcome to the conference from Asinawa. Here's Angeline. Today it's our pleasure to invite a few guest speakers to talk about the Olympus scandal 2011. The background for the scandal.
Olympus is a big Japanese company that produces medical imaging equipment and camera. Our group chose Olympus because it is one of the largest and hiding longest running losses in Japanese corporate history. Olympus top management hid losses for nearly 20 years. This highlights a serious issue of poor corporate governance in Olympus. The whistleblower was Olympus' own CEO, which is Michael Wolff. The chairman of the board and past president Tsuyoshi Kikuchaya collusion with other board members and officers to hide losses of $1.7 billion since 1990s. In 1990, Olympus incurred significant unrealized losses on investment portfolio due to the sharp decline in the Japanese stock market. Olympus able to hide the losses by historical cost measurement, but later the introduction of fair value accounting rules requires Olympus to recognize these unrealized losses. Olympus implements a loss separation scheme to hide these losses, which involve establishing two shell companies and deposit Japanese government bonds in bank as collateral to ask the bank to provide loan to these shell companies and sell the bad assets at historical price to remove the bad assets. Kikuchaya and Mori also provide cash to shell companies to repay the loan by acquisition of 3 Japanese companies and 1 British company, which is Jaris, at inflated price and overpayment the advisory fee. The assets purchase price accounted as goodwill in their balance sheet. They can be impaired in the future.
After the scandal was revealed, there were so many comments found in the media. Financial Times called into question that why auditor didn't make the finding to the public and why EY didn't recognize the fraud in the accounting and approve to sign off the financial statement. And the Morning Star called the Olympus was the emblem of Japan. And the online news, the Reuters say the auditor came under scrutiny after the Olympus scandal. Jamie Aaron, who is the Secretary General of the Associate Corporate Governance Association based in Hong Kong, commented the scandal that there is a negative step for the corporate governance in Japan.
Olympus accounting scandal leads Olympus Corporation long-time employees in Japan are feeling angry, shocked and betrayed by their executive who bring in the public humiliation of a company to which their working life have been devoted. And former director Miyata created a website which demanding clean out at the company they'll say they love called Olympus Grassroots. Besides, many foreign shareholders support Wolff to replace the board, but institutional shareholders keep silent and no one spoken one single word of this criticism. In order to dilute the influence of overseas shareholders, stakeholders try to raise capital from a domestic investor, although making fundamental changes less likely. And some foreign shareholders say the reaction to the scandal is sharpening up to confirm their worst fears about Japanese business. Their entrance executive will draft any attempts at changes, with their business as usual attitudes, given the tacit endorsement of friendly bankers and state Japanese institutional investors.
The replacement of external auditor is an obvious warning sign for Olympus scandal. KPMG was auditor of Olympus since 1974. However, in 2008, KPMG brought forward their concern to the Board of Auditors on the acquisition of the 3 domestic companies, as well as the unreasonably high financial advisory fees paid for the acquisition of Xerox. KPMG disagreed the extreme overvalued goodwill due to those acquisitions. After several consultations, KPMG requested the Board of Auditors to consider the reasonableness of the share price paid for the 3 domestic companies and also the reasonableness of the advisory fee connected with the acquisition of Xerox. In May 2009, KPMG was replaced by Ernst & Young with the reason given that there is conflict of opinion in the way of dealing with accounting of the business valuation.
As mentioned before, a number of Olympus executives have a responsible in this case, which include ex-President Kikukawa, Auditor Yamata, and the Executive Vice President Mori, together with the former bankers and 2 others, suspected of having helped the board to hide significant losses. And we also think that auditors may help responsible because they did not providing proper information. KPMG and EY failed to notice what was going on for years, Besides, Ernst & Young don't have the intention to find out the reason of the replacing external auditor.
Now we are going to talk about how Olympus scandal can be linked to poor corporate governance. This can be divided into 4 important areas. First, no segregation of duty. Yamada was the head of finance department as well as the head of audit office, head of administration management division and corporate center manager. This created an unusual concentration of power. Second, absence of job rotation. In Olympus, same person can be served in the same place over a long period. Yamada and Mori worked under a treasury group in the accounting department from the half of the 1980s. There is a high risk that consumer can be continued over a long time. Third, role of the internal auditor and board of auditor. Yamada served as the internal audit department from 2002 to 2009, while concurrently served as the head of the finance department. The independence of the internal audit function is already compromised. In the board of auditor, it comprises of 2 standing auditors who have a long history of service in Olympus and 2 outsider auditors. One of the outsider auditors was a classmate of president from high school, and the other one was the supplier of Olympus. Therefore, the independence becomes questionable. 4. Lack of supervisory of board of directors. The majority of the directors lack of professional knowledge in terms of finance and accounting area. Therefore, they are not able to figure out the unrealized loss and what is the process of acquisition of other company. In the board of director meeting, the final resolution was decided solely by the chairman without having a voting method, such as by a show of hands. Therefore, the investigation report concluded that the board of directors did not fulfill the supervisory responsibility as a center of corporate governance because it comprised of so many serious directors in the board.
First is stakeholder theory and legitimacy theory. The interest of investors is to maximize their return or profit and expect income growth. Lenders' interest is to get the repayment. The Olympus top management pressure to meet the demand of expectation of stakeholders by hiding the losses but failed to provide reliable information to the stakeholder. When the loss was uncovered, Olympus lost the support of stakeholders due to their lack of moral responsibility to stakeholders. Social aspect, Olympus will be honest to provide relevant and reliable accounting report, but Olympus take the advantage of information asymmetry and choose not to disclose the loss. Second is agency theory. Manager was given the right to make decisions on behalf of the owner. The manager can hold more information than the owner due to the separation of ownership and control. Instead of disclosing its losses, Olympus implement a compressed scheme to remove the bad assets from the balance sheet of Olympus without recognizing the losses. Stakeholders don't know the company incurred significant losses in their investment assets that may affect their decision. The third one is signaling theory. To protect the company, Olympus top management decided not to disclose the loss to signal the good image. The purpose of scandal was not for their personal benefit.
Konnichiwa. As you asked, what's the consequences for the scandal in Olympus? The share lost about 2/3 for the value since the scandal first broke in 14 October 2011, which is over 30% for the stock market value. And this also led to potentials for the company delisting from the stock market investor ownership interests. Government investment corporate Nippon Life and Mitsubishi, 3 of this company, there's a significant reduce and dispose of investment holding in Olympus. Shareholders' loss and lack of interest in public security market. Employees feel disappointed and betrayed, the fear of losing job. Humiliated and shocked by the scandals, 2,700 people were laid off and this reduced the workforce of 7%. Unfortunately, this also led to a threat for bankruptcy during that period of time. Mr. Sakurai stated, it's caused them hard to raise money from the market, for example, difficult for the bank to lend the money. This incident also caused a big impact for the corporate governance in the company itself, as mentioned just now, and Japan. The company itself, Olympus, has restated the earnings for the last 5 years. This also hit the large part of the impairment loss of the tax asset write-down. 30 manufacturing plants was being reduced to cost base. Olympus was fined 700 million yen, which equivalent to the 7 million USD. 6 banks were filed civil suit that against Olympus over the fraud, and they are seeking an additional 28 billion yen in damage. Lawsuits are being threatened for former employers against the Olympus executive. For the ethical consequences, there is an installation for new management after the annual shareholders meetings, which is after these incidents. There is also an establishment of the committee and renew for the corporate governance. Management always ensure the corporate operations work within a framework with rules and regulations, which the rules and regulations are to be tightened. Lastly, this also encourages the ethics for the whistleblowers. as there was protections available for
After
them.
understanding the overall case of Olympus scandal, we can learn that when director has interests different to or over and above those of the company, the director need to be disclosed the particular interest and may require approval from the shareholder and also may require declaration on that interest. Another lesson we can learn from Olympus scandal is that segregation of duty is important in corporate governance. According to AICPA, segregation of duty in a business is the fundamental building block of sustainable risk management and internal control. As we can see in the case of Olympus scandal, improper segregation of duty leads to loss control of fraud and error risk. Lastly, we learned that accounting fraud can be found everywhere in all accounting. If we found any fraud in accounting, we have to deal with it and move forward. If we hide the loss, the longer the fraud is concealed, the larger the need of cover-up and the higher the probability that employee will try to manipulate the accounting system.